Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how I can create this abstract animation with geometry nodes and the grease pencil. So let's get started. You're going to need Blender 3.4 Alpha for this to work. Hit Shift A and add a plane and also add a grease pencil object stroke. And now move it out of sight, for example GZ-100. With the stroke object selected, go to the modifiers and add a line art modifier. Set the source tab to object and select the plane. Now for the layer I'm going to choose lines, and for the material I'm going to choose black. Now as you can see, we cannot see the line art. That's because we need a camera. So go to camera and Ctrl-Alt-0 to go into camera view, and now we've got it here. I'm going to choose the plane and press delete on the numpad and go into front view by pressing 1. Press Ctrl-Alt-0 again and select the camera and press GZ to move it on the local Z-axis. As you can see, I just saved. I did that because the grease pencil modifier is going to require a lot of processing power once we've got a lot of geometry. Select the plane and go to geometry nodes. Let's close this window and click on new. Delete the group input and hit Shift A and add a volume cube. Alt Shift click it and add a volume to mesh. This one, and put it here. Set it to amount. If you want to get this display here, you need to go here and enable timings. Now add a set shade smooth node and a set material node. Go to the material properties and click on new and select it here. Add an integral node. Plug it into the resolution here. And let's also plug it in here. Let's set this to 32 for now. Add a Musgrave texture. Plug the height into the density and add a mix RGB. Use color 2 here. Let's also add a gradient texture. Plug the color into the factor and into color 1. Now set it to spherical. Set the Musgrave texture to 40 and keyframe the W. Open the timeline here and let's go to frame 125. Set the W to 0.5 and keyframe it. Go to frame 251 and set it to 0 and keyframe it again. You can increase the value of the integral now if you want. Just be careful because, like I said, the more geometry, the more processing power it needs. I'm going to set it to 128. I don't recommend that you go higher than that. Now let's go to shading. I'm going to select the camera and zoom it out slightly, like this. Let's go to rendered view. I'm going to use Cyclones for this. As always, the link to the HDRI that I'm using is in the description. Now go to the render properties and go to film and make it transparent. Let's also go to color management and set the look to very high contrast. Now let's select the plane. Let's make the principled BSDF metallic and set the roughness to 0.27. Add a color ramp. Put it here and plug the color into the base color. Now let's make the black a light gold, like this for example. And the white a dark gold. I ended up using these values here and this one. Now let's add a Musgrave texture. Plug the height into the factor. Press Ctrl T with the Musgrave texture selected and use the object coordinate. Set the scale to 400, the detail to 15 and the dimension to 0. Connect the vector to the normal and add a bump node. Use the height instead of the normal and set the strength to 0.5. add a noise texture, set the strength to 10 and the detail to 8 and the roughness to 0.45. I think I'm going to set the contrast back to none so that we can see the lines better. I'm going to use 128 samples and enable denoise. Use optics if you can. If you can't, then just use OpenImage denoise. Go to the output properties. I'm going to leave this at Full HD and let's select an output folder. So I just created a new folder for this. I called it rendered images. I'm also going to call the images rendered images. If you put an underscore after the name, Blender is going to automatically assign numbers to the frames. Now hit enter. I'm going to set this to JPEG and set the quality to 100%. Let's save again and go to render animation. Once it's done rendering, close this window and go to video editing. Make sure you are on frame 1 and hover the file location and press Ctrl C. Now go to file format and set it to FFmpeg video and set the encoding container to MPEG-4. Now go here and hit Shift A, image sequence, and you need to paste in the location minus the name. Press A and enter. Let's save again and go to render animation. So that's it with the tutorial. I hope you liked it. Please let me know what I should do next and I'll see you next time.